at our international airport. So going through the day today, we're 50 at noon, 49 at 5. We'll top out at 51. I think our steadier shower activity is for that homebound commute, especially as we get towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight. A few spotty showers before that. All in all, though, no major snow is coming our way, but we will see a few flakes before the week is out. And we'll talk about that ahead. 30 after 7 now. Let's go back over to Rob and Jackie.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, Denise has been talking about it all morning long. Breaking news of an accident causing some major road delays in the Brent Spence Bridge.
Our Miranda Del Pozo is live this morning with a closer look at the accident. And she's saying you're going to see a lot of flashing lights as you approach the bridge, huh?
Yeah, good morning, Rob and Jackie. Traffic is starting to pick up just a little bit here. We're overlooking 75 southbound just before 50. We've got some barriers placed here, so you just cannot get onto 75 southbound. It's completely shut down still since 4 o'clock this morning. Take a look at some video that we have from the scene. It did happen at 4. It involved a beer truck and 2 passenger vehicles. One person was taken to UC Medical Center. We don't know how serious that person's injuries are, but you can see it's quite a mess. There are several broken beer bottles on the highway. Dispatchers, I just spoke with dispatchers and they say they still haven't been given an estimate on when 75 might reopen. They have to unload the truck completely before they flip it over because they're afraid that all of the beer would spill onto the road if they tried to do that before unloading. So again, just quite a big mess there. You've got to avoid it. And for some alternate routes, here's Fox 19's Denise Johnson.
Well, Miranda, just to give you a wider view as well of what's going on, I've got a 4-shot pulled up, well, I thought I did, of all the roadways. This is 7175 at the Brent Spence Bridge. It is shut down. As you can see, those flashing lights there zoomed in just a little bit closer. Again, that's the accident scene where Miranda was talking about the problems going on. To avoid that, they are diverting you off onto Fort Washington Way, southbound on 471. Now, you can see you've got northbound traffic on the right side of the screen there, and then where that orange line is, as you're exiting off onto 275, starting to see those delays pick up. Now, this is both directions of 471. This is your normal traffic. This is not normal in that southbound direction. That's all the traffic being diverted off to 275, heading towards 7175. You'll have to go in that direction. Now, avoid going into downtown this morning and just running into any problems or delays. You can use the Norwood lateral over to 71 and then just go straight down 71 onto 471 if you want to there. That way you'll avoid Fort Washington Way. If you're heading to the airport on the west side, you might want to consider taking 275 in that direction. That'll help you avoid any of those problems. So again, there's a few ways around, plus plenty of other little Anderson Ferry. You can take several different areas if you need to go and you know where you're going. I don't want to send you off in any of those areas and cause even more problems. So if you stick to the interstates, it might take you a few extra minutes. It's 7:32. Robin, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Denise. Police investigating a brutal robbery of a UC student near campus. The student was punched and kicked by 4 suspects outside the University Park Apartments on Calhoun Street. At least 7 robberies have been reported since December all around campus. UC students were victims in at least 5 of them. And a local lawyer goes on trial today. Prosecutors say Greg Cohen bribed a witness, asking him to withhold testimony in a murder case. He could get 6 years in prison if he is convicted.
Crews will be back on the scene of a massive Indian Hill fire later this morning.
Fox 19's Dan Wells is live in Indian Hill to tell us what is happening today. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Rob. Both investigators and construction crews will absolutely be on site today. I want to show you actually a picture of the home before Friday because it really shows you how big this fire was on Friday. Now, this home right here is listed by the auditor's website at $4 million. It's 10,000 square feet in the 9600 block of Cunningham Road, and man, oh man, firefighters here in Indian Hill had quite a job on their hands on Friday. Take a look at some of the video. It took them 7 hours to get that fire under control. We're also told they had problems with hydrants in the area, not being able to provide enough water, so they brought in tanker trucks filled with water to get that fire under control. Again, today, the big thing that's going to happen is fire investigators from the Indian Hill Fire Department, which is right behind us, along with construction crews, are now going on site. They have to tear down what remains of that house. So again, those fire investigators investigators can get in, sort through the rubble, find out what caused that fire, and then report back. We're going to stay on top of this investigation and put the very latest information for you guys on our website at fox19.com. We're live in Indian Hill. Dan Wells, Fox 19 Balanced News.
All right, thanks, Dan.
New this morning, details on the efforts to keep Iran from making a nuclear weapon. In 1 week, the landmark deal struck with Iran and the U.S. and other world powers will kick in. It limits the country's ability to enrich uranium beyond 5%. All nuclear materials already enriched to 20% must be destroyed. That's one step from weapons grade.
Our absolute top priority in these negotiations is making absolutely clear, beyond any doubt, that Iran's program is a peaceful program.
Lawmakers in Washington worry if Iran will follow through with the deal. Congress preparing a fresh round of sanctions if the deal does not stick. Take a look at this. Today marks 2 years since the Costa Concordia hit rocks. Yeah, can you believe it? 2 years, Frank, off the Italian coast. This is a new image of the 114,000-ton vessel. You can see parts of the ship rusting away and a distinct line from where parts of the boat sat underwater. The next step is refloating the ship in June.
Girl. Be a brave girl.
Okay, kids, don't try this trick at home.
Oh.
A young boy helping his sister get rid of a loose tooth. Their father tied a string to her tooth, then to a baseball. As you can see, the little slugger hit the ball and pulled the tooth right out. This video on YouTube is part of a growing trend of parents point out their kids' teeth in odd ways. My dad used to do this with a door. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Remember that feeling like when it was loose and you would play with it with your tongue?
All the time.
Yeah. Well, you may not know her, but you soon will. Local girl Christina Gao making the United States figure skating team. She is from right here in Cincinnati. Now, she goes to Harvard and trains in Boston. A fun fact, she wants to be a doctor when she's done with figure skating.
No, I don't think this is a true story. I know she skated during the... This Christina Gao?
Yeah, Christina Gao. It's on the website right now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to double check that because I think she came in 7th place.
Oh, and you don't think she...
I mean, only the top, what's that? She gets to travel with the team. Okay.
Okay. But she might not be actually in it.
Because you won't see her skating during the Olympics.
Having a content meeting
Still
right here.
yet, still yet, it's not like that's small
Okay.
potatoes. I mean, she did really
That's
well.
awesome.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
that's still really a huge accomplishment.
Let's take a look at our web video, shall we? Doritos Time Machine commercial for this Super Bowl. Take a look.
Hey, Mr. Smith. Want to try out my time machine? It runs on Doritos.
Sure. So now what?
Gotta put the whole bag in.
Okay.
Yes.
It's really working, Jimmy! This is the greatest out of my yard! Jimmy? You're so old.
Oh my goodness.
And if you're going to see more of that during the
That's
Super
really
Bowl.
funny.
Let's take a look at Rob's Riddle Prize if you play this week at 41919deals.com. A $20 gift card to Steak and Shake. Back in a moment.
meteorologist Frank Marzullo and Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather.
Okay, live look from our Florence camera this morning. I want to file through a couple of these now that the sun's up. 47 degrees at this hour. I'll take you over to Kings Island now. We're 46 from our Banshee camera. Take you up to Middletown, where cloudy skies are going to be the norm today. We're at 46 degrees right here, right now. And then looking through the remainder of the afternoon on our mobile weather app now, from that sunshine that you see in Middletown, it will be short-lived as the cloud cover is going to continue to increase going into the afternoon hours today. 49 at 11, 1 o'clock we're at 50, 3 we're 51. A spotty shower early on, but I do look at some steadier rain showers in that 5 and 7 o'clock range tonight as temperatures will flirt with 50. Here's Denise watching your morning commute. Denise?
Well, Frank's still dealing with plenty of problems around the tri-state. Southbound 75 shut down right at the 12th Street, so right around the Brent-Spence Bridge on the Kentucky side of the bridge. Now, this is your northbound traffic, as you can see, heading into downtown. You're backed up there all the way back to Buttermilk, but they do have everything shut down, so you cannot access southbound 75. This is on the Ohio side, so from 75 looking towards the Brent-Spence Bridge, you can see the flashing lights there right around that 6th Street viaduct, so you cannot get on at all. And right here at Fort Washington Way onto southbound 75 into northern Kentucky, heading south on 7175. Let's jump out and take some detours here. They are exiting you off onto Fort Washington Way, which takes you southbound on 471, and you've got that slow traffic as you're approaching that 275 interchange heading towards 7175. So you can see both directions of traffic, very heavy there right around that Southgate exit. So allow plenty of extra time. If you have to head to the airport this morning, then you can also head southbound on 75 to the lateral or use 275 this morning to head to the airport. It's 7:43. Robin, Jackie.
All right, thanks so much, Denise. Breaking news just into our newsroom. Kentucky's Jim Beam is getting a new owner, a Japanese holdings company acquired Beam for more than $14 billion.
Yeah, it still needs approval from stockholders. Beam is based in Illinois, but produces Jim Beam and Maker's Mark in central Kentucky.
Happening today across the tri-state, Taylor High School is getting new turf for their football team.
That's right. That's where it gets exciting. They bought the turf from the New Orleans Saints. It was in the Superdome and has only been used 30 times. Court will be in session this morning at the Hamilton County Juvenile Court. A water main break flooded the building on Broadway, also knocking out power. Some hearings may be moved to other courtrooms within the building.
Happening today across the region, the Kentucky Derby Festival will announce their 2014 Royal Court. This is video of last year's court. Over 100 applicants applied to be one of the 5 princesses who act as the Derby's official ambassadors. The women also get a $2,000 scholarship.
And Robert Thomas will be in a Cleveland courtroom later today. He's charged with attempting to buy a child for sex. In an online post, Thomas asking if anyone willing to arrange a marriage of their daughter to him. He offered to pay $400 for a 10-year-old girl. And happening today across the nation, Alex Rodriguez appealing his season-long suspension. He's asking a federal judge to overturn or reduce the 162-game suspension next season for using performance-enhancing drugs. Rodriguez stands to lose $22 million if the suspension is upheld.
7:45 now, still to come. Mayor Rob Ford's night on the town. Photos of his campaign stop next.
Also ahead this morning, Congressman Brad Winstrup. He's in our studios this morning. Good morning to you, Congressman. He's chatting with us while lawmakers face their lowest rating in decades. That story, much more, next.
Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
Meteorologist Frank Marzullo and Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather.
And a gorgeous sky this morning from the east side of town, looking out over Indian Hill this morning. And look at that. It's fantastic. Sun is going to be a little filtered early on, but the clouds really will be the story of the day across our hometowns and neighborhoods. Let's get you out the door. Radar and satellites showing that cloud cover has increased a bit here over the last couple of hours. Couple showers down to our south around Piner this morning. Maybe a quick little spotty shower really down around Madison. A lot of this fizzling on out, but some of those spots far to our south may see a quick shower, spotty shower late morning. Otherwise, best chance for rain later this evening. 48 degrees right now at our international airport. A strong southern flow keeping us nice and mild. 51 today. Rain showers develop. A spotty one in the afternoon. Better chance 5:36, 7 o'clock tonight for the evening commute. And then tomorrow morning we're dry. Tomorrow afternoon dry with another chance of rain late tomorrow evening. 46. That rain will mix in with a wet snowflake Wednesday morning. Nothing substantial as temperatures fall into the low 30s. And then we don't rebound much going into next, the second half of that 7 day, staying in the low 30s, but dry. 49 after 7. Here's Denise. She's watching your morning commute. A dry morning commute, bit damp for the evening. Hi, Denise.
Well, Frank, right now dealing with those problems as far as heading southbound on 7175. You've got your northbound traffic. That's on the right side of the screen. You're backed up all the way back to around Buttermilk. It's pretty normal looking there, but here's the problem. Southbound 75 shut down on the north side of the Brent Spence Bridge, I should say on the south side of the bridge, but they have it completely blocked off over on the Ohio side, so you can't get on to 75 heading in that direction. And then on Fort Washington Way, really not seeing the delays until you get to around Southgate. Let's jump out, and there's also a problem I saw just on the cameras right around Red Bank if you're heading southbound on 71. If we can jump out to my map and just take a quick look here as far as detouring you off, they're sending you off onto Fort Washington Way, southbound 471, and now a problem on 471 if you're heading in that direction as well. An accident right around that Southgate exit, which is causing some delays, and you're looking northbound. So this is your southbound side. It's much heavier than a normal morning. So again, you're running into a problem there with an accident on southbound 471, which is your detour heading over to 7175. That closure is going to continue through around 9 o'clock. So we'll see how long that sticks around. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Denise. Happening this morning, a Damesville father will be in court accused of killing his 11-year-old daughter, DeAndre Kelly. Will be arraigned at 9 this morning. He turned himself in over the weekend. Now, Fox 19's Kelly Rippin has been following this story from the beginning.
Yeah, she talked to Shanti's grandmother. She joins us live from downtown with more on this story. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rob and Jackie. As you mentioned, Kelly will be arraigned here downtown at 9 o'clock. Right now, he is charged with reckless homicide in the killing of his 11-year-old daughter. Now, Shanti Lanza was a 5th grader over at Riverside Academy, and we spoke with her grandmother yesterday, as Rob just mentioned, and she told us that Shanti always had a smile for everyone. She aspired to be a dancer and a singer. A really tragic event that took place in that Damesville neighborhood, impacting many of the neighbors as well as the Riverside Academy community. We expect this morning that counselors will be on hand to speak with some of the students over at Riverside. You're looking at pictures of Shanti right now. Again, he will be arraigned here at 9 o'clock. Reckless homicide is the charge. We'll bring you any updates from that arraignment as we get them. When we spoke with family yesterday, there was about a 7-hour search for Kelly after this took place at 3 o'clock in the morning. And when we spoke with family yesterday, they said he had no idea that his daughter had been killed, but he did eventually turn himself into police when he found out what happened. We'll bring you all of those updates on Fox 19 and Fox19.com. Kelly Rippin, Fox 19 Balance News.
Kelly, thank you very much. A bridge scandal surrounding New Jersey's Governor Chris Christie continues to grow. The legislative panel is now investigating the incident. They claim a crime may have been committed. Now it's a question of whether or not Christie knew his top aide asked for a major bridge to be shut down.
It's hard to believe in the middle of a gubernatorial election that the governor didn't have a conversation with somebody on his senior staff about a big problem in Fort Lee.
Democrats are starting to call for the impeachment of Christie if charges are filed. The governor saying during a press conference that he's embarrassed by the incident, but had no idea it was happening. To many, Christie is considered the top Republican presidential candidate for 2016. Right now, his ratings are down 8 points. And take a look at these. Photos of Toronto's Mayor Rob Ford hitting the campaign trail. Ford made the surprise appearance at a nightclub over the weekend. His brother saying it was part of a re-election campaign. Ford is allegedly on the path of sobriety since admitting to using crack cocaine, other drugs, and then drinking too much. The election is in October. Here's Jackie.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, Congressman Brad Winstrup joining us this morning. The Republican representative has been in office for a year now, and he tells us he is working away for his constituents out in Washington. Now, Congress is facing many challenges, though, so thank you for joining us, first of all. But let's get right to it. One of the bigger issues currently is the unemployment benefits program. It was not extended. Many Americans say they're in a rough place right now. So what do you have to say to that?
Well, one of the things that we're going to be looking at is, are we going to extend it and how are we going to pay for it? But more so, nothing cures unemployment better than a job. And one of the things that we've really got to get serious about are some of our job bills. The House has passed job bills such as the Skills Act, but the Senate hasn't taken them up, which is somewhat surprising because our senators, both Sherrod Brown and Rob Portman, have proposed bills similar to this in an effort to try and get people back to work. You also have face the facts of what's going on with Obamacare. Businesses are uncertain as to whether they should expand, can they afford to expand, and so the problems that we're having today are really limiting job creation, and so that's the other thing we really have to take a hard look at if we're going to succeed.
Okay, so what is your opinion, though? How do you want to handle this problem of unemployment? Now, we have people who are not getting any money now. You know, they're like, I'm suffering. I need some help here. And then a lot of them have been unemployed for a long time. So what do you think the resolution needs to be?
Well, I think that for the last several years, we really haven't done things that help create jobs. And I think that is the overall solution.
So what do we
On
need
a
to do to
short-term
create
basis,
jobs?
we do have to look and see what we're going to do about the unemployment insurance situation. A lot of that is state-run. But for example, we passed the Skills Act, which reduces the amount of red tape that's involved for community colleges to enhance their job training. It also takes about 35 agencies, puts them into one, and puts the control into the state because they know better what their state needs as far as jobs for their people. So that's one of the things that the Skills Act does that we passed in the House of Representatives, and it hasn't been taken up in the Senate. These things have to take place. We really have to get serious about creating jobs and meaning it.
Okay, and I do want to talk about Obamacare a little bit. I mean, the whole website fiasco, I don't even need to tell you about that. What do you think of Obamacare? What do you think needs to be done? Because we've just been seeing so many problems.
Well, the website thing speaks for itself, right? And the problems that have been created there. For example, we are on the exchanges in Congress, and we did finally get through after a few days of working it. I got my card saying I'm insured. At the same time, I got a letter saying I wasn't eligible for what I signed up for.
A lot of people confused.
People are very confounded at this point. If you look at it from the big picture, we should have been looking at who's uncared for in America, and the uninsured would fall underneath that. But we really didn't address how we're going to provide more care and get more people access to appropriate care, because the emergency room is not the place to go and get your diabetes taken care of, right? And as a physician, I can tell you that the battles that take place for people that, say, for example, are on Medicaid and some of programs like that, the access is very difficult for a lot of people, especially into primary care.
Okay, we only have 20 seconds left, but very quickly, I do want to ask you, many Americans are unhappy with Congress right now. Approval ratings incredibly low. What do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think we all need to sit down and come to the table, and I would like the president to lead that. You know, I haven't met him since I've been in Congress, and typically you do. And when it comes time to getting together and hammering things out, we need a president to lead us. Congress has a low approval rating. Trust is way down within the government from so many of the scandals. It's understandable why people have a low approval rating, but we're working to bring it up.
All right, thank you so much, Congressman. We will be right back. Stick with Fox 19 Morning News.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.